the maid who was secretly my grandmother. My name is Margaret Ellison. I'm from a small town outside Savannah, Georgia, and I just turned 71 last spring. My hair has gone the color of morning frost, but underneath it, my heart still carries a fire that never went out. Most people who pass me in the hallway see nothing more than a quiet old housekeeper, gliding softly across polished floors, never asking for much, never speaking unless spoken to. What they don't know is the storm I lived through, or the daughter I lost so many years ago that I stopped counting. Every single morning, before the sun even touched the curtains, I would whisper to myself, "Hold your secret, Margaret. Wait for the right dawn to come." This is the story of that silence, the tears, the hope, and the reunion that none of us saw coming, the one that changed an entire family forever. 17 years ago, I walked through the front door of the Bennett family home for the very first time. Richard and Claire Bennett greeted me with warm smiles and easy laughter, the kind that made a stranger feel welcome in an instant. Their house stretched wide with tall windows that let the light pour in, and that laughter, it lived in every single room. Children's drawings covered the refrigerator door. Tiny shoes lined up neatly by the entryway. I arrived carrying a worn-out suitcase, plain clothes, and a heart trembling under the weight of a truth I had buried for decades. They hired me to cook, to clean, to handle the small, quiet tasks nobody else noticed. But inside, I felt something heavier settling over me. I sensed that the road ahead of me wasn't just about mopping floors. It was about finally facing a past I had never truly let go of. Long before I ever stepped foot in that house, my life had already been carved by grief. At 19, I married a man who promised me forever, but poverty and fear broke that promise before it ever had a chance. I raised my little girl, Rose, in a cramped apartment with thin walls and colder nights than any child should have to know. Hunger pressed in on us until, eventually, social workers stepped in. They offered her a safety I couldn't provide on my own. One morning, they came and took Rose from my arms, leaving them empty and my voice lost somewhere inside my grief. I spent years searching, combing through records across different states, mailing letters into the dark, praying for even a single glimpse of her. The years drifted by like leaves on still water, leaving nothing behind but longing. I moved from town to town, surviving on shifts at diners, laundromats, and nursing homes. The nights felt endless, filled with silent prayers and creased photographs I couldn't bear to throw away. Every birthday, I imagined Rose somewhere out there, smiling, blowing out candles, never knowing her mother's tears fell in the exact same rhythm as the melting wax. People called me strong. None of them ever saw the ache hiding behind my calm smile. I made a promise to my own heart. If life ever placed Rose in front of me again, I would love her quietly if I had to, or out loud if I was ever given the chance. Hope kept breathing in me, even when logic whispered that it should have died out long ago. Decades passed, but her name stayed carved into my soul, deeper than time itself. The day I met Claire Bennett, the whole world seemed to tilt sideways. She moved with a soft, familiar grace. Her laugh was warm in a way I recognized. Her eyes held a shade I swore I'd seen before. My breath caught in my throat when she tucked her hair behind her ear, the exact same gesture my little Rose used to make when she was only 2 years old. I served her tea that afternoon with my hands shaking, telling myself, "Don't rush this. Let the truth bloom in its own season." I cleaned her home, folded her children's laundry, baked bread while my heart whispered the same words over and over. This is her. My baby, grown into a woman. Silence protected me while love quietly spread its wings underneath. Emily and Noah, Claire's 2 children, filled that house with joyful noise. They called me Miss Margaret. They brought me their drawings, their little stories, and begged for one more bedtime tale before lights out. I read to them softly, sometimes with tears sliding down my cheeks that they never noticed in the dim light. Every giggle felt like sunlight breaking through broken shutters. They hugged me after school with their small arms wrapped tight, never knowing they were embracing their real grandmother. I tucked them into bed each night, kissed their hair, and whispered blessings into the darkness. My name may not have carried a title in that house, but my heart carried the truth all the same. I treasured every single moment, quietly planting roots of love that only time itself could ever bring to light. The years passed by in a gentle rhythm. I polished the silverware, decorated the Christmas tree, mended torn sleeves late into the night. Claire trusted me with her home, her children, her peace of mind, and I trusted fate with my secret. In the evenings, I would sit by the kitchen window holding a small locket that carried Rose's baby photograph inside. I used to ask the stars, when is it finally time to speak? Fear held me back constantly. Would she feel betrayed, or would she embrace the truth? I waited, believing that the heart knows its own hour for revelation. Silence had always kept me safe, but the longing kept pressing against my ribs, begging for release, for recognition, for one honest moment. Then, on a winter evening, while snow pressed gently against the window glass, Claire noticed the locket around my neck. She asked, softly, "Margaret, whose picture is that inside there?" My hands trembled as I opened the tiny clasp. Inside gleamed the small, delicate face of my baby girl. I breathed slowly, my eyes filling with tears, and whispered, "My daughter, taken from me when my whole life fell apart." Claire stood frozen, staring at the room, holding her breath. She stepped closer. Her eyes widened, her lips parted, as though some buried memory had suddenly stirred awake inside her. Shadows and light mixed across the kitchen floor as the truth hovered in the air like a bird waiting to land. Claire studied the photograph, her voice barely above a whisper. "Margaret, this baby looks exactly like my baby pictures." My tears blurred the edges of her face. "It's you," I whispered. "I've searched for you for decades, hoping to see you alive, happy, safe." A heavy, sacred silence wrapped around us both. Claire's hand reached for mine, trembling. "You're my mother," she breathed. Tears fell, hollow years of longing finally rising to the surface and pouring out of both of us at once. We held each other in that quiet kitchen, both of us shaking, both of us healing, both of us stunned by a miracle born out of heartbreak and unbreakable hope. In the days that followed, Claire asked me everything. My journey, my pain, the nights I prayed for her safety from somewhere far away. I shared every chapter, every scar, every faded letter I had kept all those years. She cried against my shoulder, whispering, "You never gave up on me." Emily and Noah soon learned that Miss Margaret was, in truth, Grandma Margaret. Their eyes lit up with wonder as they wrapped their small arms around me, calling me Grandma with pure, uncomplicated joy. The house itself seemed to change after that. Photographs multiplied on the walls. Laughter grew deeper and lasted longer. Dinners stretched late into the evening. Love rebuilt a bridge that time had broken, plank by plank, nailed together with forgiveness and a grace too big for words. Now our lives are woven together with nothing but honesty between us. Claire invites me to family gatherings as her mother now, not as her housekeeper. Emily and Noah share their secrets, their dreams, their silly jokes while curled up in my lap. I look at them sometimes and whisper to myself, "I am complete." Those long years of silence taught me patience. The reunion taught me courage. I've come to believe that broken hearts can find their way back to each other, as long as hope keeps breathing somewhere inside them. My story carries no bitterness, only gratitude for second chances. I walked into that house carrying rags and memories. I remain in it now, embraced, honored, and finally called the mother I always was. Love, I've learned, is stronger than distance, stronger than poverty, stronger than all the years that tried to keep us apart. I teach Emily and Noah little lessons before bedtime now. Family isn't only born on paper, it's built by hands that never stop reaching for each other. Claire holds my hand at the dinner table, and her smile carries a peace I never thought I'd feel again. I wake up every morning to a new kind of joy, no longer hidden behind chores and shadows. My name now echoes through that house as Grandma Margaret, filling every hallway with warmth. My journey is a reminder to every heart out there that even after the darkest storms, dawn is still waiting. This reunion lives on for anyone who refuses to stop believing in love's power to bring back everything that was once thought lost.